Hello, fellow gaming enthusiasts. This is Revan here, and today we're going to talk about something related to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, as you can probably tell from the title. Apparently last Friday, some news from the Japanese website apparently indicates that there's going to be some kind of expansion pack or additional DLC pack for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. It's very scant on the details, but from the translation that people put out last week, it was using the word expansion. Now, to me, expansion and DLC are kind of interchangeable these days. So it could just be an additional DLC pack, or it really could be an expansion pack. Either way, we won't really know for sure until there's a more official announcement of what this is, what this possibly could be. As you all know, I want to say about 2 months ago, I put out a video talking about how unlikely it was for a 5th DLC pack for this game. And I got quite a bit of disagreement with that video over time. And I made that video prior to when Dragon Ball FighterZ was announced, prior to when, we knew when Dragon Ball FighterZ was going to be releasing. And since that video, I have changed my tune a little bit, and when this was announced last week, I was like, well, now that Dragon Ball FighterZ has been announced, and it's an early 2018 game, we might not have a Xenoverse game for a while. I suppose it makes sense for them to do an additional DLC pack or expansion pack for this game. To give it a little bit more life, make a little bit more money off of it, throw Xenoverse fans a bone, which I'm one of those fans, a bone, and give them more content. At the same time, I also said it was unlikely because it would make sense for them to want to have most of the team working on Xenoverse 3, so that game could be done in the time that it's supposed to be done. But if they're going to go ahead and they're going to do this additional expansion pack, additional DLC, they must feel that they have plenty of time and plenty of the team working on both of those things to be able to do this. So, with that being said, I am sorry that I was so bullheaded about my opinion about how I said it was unlikely that this was going to happen, and now that it's possibly actually going to happen, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this because, I mean, you can find out more information about what all this, the expansion pack, where it all comes from in Rhymestyle's video. I will probably have some kind of link to it in the description below. But it just in passing mentions that there will probably be some kind of expansion pack, and it's roughly translated from Japanese, so it could mean DLC, like a DLC Pack 5 or something. But anyway, let's talk more about the expansion, a theoretical expansion pack to begin with. First of all, if this is going to be a singular expansion pack, what would you want in it at this point that the Season Pass did not already cover? Let's talk about value proposition, okay? So, each individual DLC pack for Xenoverse 2 is $10. And for $10, in DLC Pack 3, you could get 3 new characters, 3 new parallel quests, something like, I think you got like 2 premium costumes, and then some other stuff along with that. Like, there was some other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have the details up right now, but that was a decent amount of content for $10. I mean, getting 3 whole brand new characters for $10 is not bad. Like, no clones at all there. That's not bad. That's actually a good value. But then, when you start talking about an expansion pack, you need to remember that expansion packs are charged a little bit more than a DLC pack is, if we go by other games. So, let's take another Bandai Namco game that has an expansion pack. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 has an expansion pack, and it is called Road to Boruto. How much did that cost when it came out? $20. What did that $20 get you? It got you 5 quote-unquote new characters, one old character, being Mecha Naruto, a story mode that was 2 hours long, and some additional, I think it was like some additional costumes for existing characters and the new characters. So, that was all for $20, and a lot of people were not happy with it. They weren't happy with it because a lot of the characters that were new were of existing characters with new movesets. Now, you could make the argument that, yes, that technically makes them new characters. But a lot of people would have much rather have had someone like Anko be playable than another version of Naruto playable. And, like, people complained about how, you know, the Hokage Naruto was not his own character. Well, then the people who complained about that ended up getting what they wanted in this Road to Boruto expansion pack, but it was at the cost of an actual new character. Theoretically, anyway. So, to me, that Road to Boruto expansion pack was not worth $20. So if they did something like this for Xenoverse 2, I would say that it is not a, that I would not want something to be like $20 and then getting, like, you know, 5 new characters that are just, like, some of them are of existing characters. Okay? And this brings me to my next point is that, well, how much should this be? How much should this really add? I'm looking at it as, like, okay, an expansion pack generally is going to cost something like $15 to $20. And so if we go by the DLC packs for Xenoverse 2, then that means that this expansion pack needs to at least have anywhere from 4 to 5 new characters. It needs to definitely have some kind of story mode edition attached to it. And that story mode edition needs to at least last longer than the DLC pack ones did. Like, it can't be 45 minutes long. It has to be somewhere around an hour and a half to 2 hours in length. So it can't just be 3 to 4 story missions. It has to be like a much longer arc of story mode missions. Okay, and then they need to have more than 3 parallel quests for this expansion pack. They need to have more than 2 premium costumes. And they need to have a bunch of new custom character moves that people can use to entice people even further. So, Xenoverse 2, unlike Naruto, has a lot of extra stuff that they can add to, basically. Just a lot of extra stuff that they can sort of, like, make the expansion pack get bloated in that sense. Whereas Naruto didn't have that much they could really add to make the value, like, make it worthwhile for you. That $20 worthwhile to purchase. They seem to overvalue the characters you got for that DLC pack. That's the way I look at it. They overvalued how much people really wanted those characters. And so, because of that, it ended up biting them in the ass because not many people ended up buying that expansion pack. I'm pretty sure. And so they probably didn't make nearly as much of a profit off of Road to Boruto as they could have. However, for this game, that could be completely different. Just because of all the extra stuff they have. You know, the parallel quests, the costumes, the, you know, custom character moves, all that stuff. So, chances are this expansion pack might actually be, you know, have an equal value to the amount you're spending on it. But we'll see. We don't know. There's really not much we know about this. So, let's talk about characters. What kind of characters would you want from this expansion pack? Let's assume we're going to get something like 4 to 5 characters. 4 to 5 new characters from this expansion pack or additional DLC pack, whatever. Let's just assume it's an expansion pack. That means you're paying $15 to $20 for this expansion pack. Who would you want? Well, it's kind of rumored, based on the data mining of the most recent update, that Dabura and Buhan are 2 of the candidates for this expansion pack. Their names are specifically used in some files in the most recent update. So there's a chance that those two are going to be part of this pack. How would you feel about those two characters? Personally, I would be okay with Dabura. In fact, I'd be more than okay with Dabura. Dabura has been a very requested character because the potential between him and Toa, story-wise. So that would be something they could definitely use to make the story mode longer, is by having, like, the story mode edition by having Dabura and Toa interactions, and they could do a lot with that. Secondarily, going back to Buhan here, personally, I would not want Buhan. I would not want Buhan because, to me, technically, he is an existing character in the game already in Super Buu. All Buhan would give us, in terms of uniqueness, are the Ghost Kamikaze Kamehamehas. Basically. And that would just be a special move. That wouldn't be his combos. Now, they probably would actually change his combos up, just like they did Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. It's just going to depend on, you know, how do those vary from the original Super Buu? How much variance is there? And will that variance be enough to be enjoyable? Will it be fun? Yada yada yada. So that's my one concern about a potential Buhan being a part of this. I would not be mad. I just wouldn't be excited. I wouldn't be hyped about that. Because that, to me, that's just like adding Goku in his, like if they took Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, and made him his own, like, separate character slot and not just a transformation, and they gave him a new combo strings. Like, that's how that would feel to me. Is something like that. I wouldn't be excited about that. So let's assume that those are two of the characters in this pack. What are the three other characters you would want to see? Me, personally, I would want to see someone like Baby Vegeta, because visually, Baby Vegeta does look different from regular Vegeta. Super Baby 3 in particular doesn't even look like Vegeta anymore. He looks like a completely new character, his own character. He can have his own combo strings. He has his own supers and ultimates. He's a very, very, very different character from Vegeta. He still very well could have Final Flash and Big Bang and all that jazz. He still could. But that would be okay, because it's Baby Vegeta, and those are the moves he did in the show. As long as he looks visually different, which he does, and would play different, which he would be a very worthwhile character to add to the game. And then, who would be the other two characters? Well, it could be, they could add in super characters then. They could add in some super characters that they did not put in. So this is where they could probably put in some of the Tournament of Power characters we were unable to get because they debuted so late. So you could have Caulifla, you could have Kale instead, you could have any other of the super characters that have been introduced up to this point, or it could just be one of those characters. It doesn't have to necessarily be two super characters. And then as far as going back to Dragon Ball Z characters goes, another potential character they could add is Android 13. And they could do either his Super Android form or his base form. Doesn't really matter which. Either one is visually different and could be unique in his own way. So let's assume these are the five. So I would probably want someone like Android 13 and then probably a super character. Okay, let's say that. That would be a pretty good deal. Like, getting those 4 to 5 characters, I would be relatively happy with those characters, if those were the characters. We don't really know if they are going to be. Obviously, I'm just guessing. I'm just giving what I think, what I would want. And that's all I can really say about that, about characters. And I already asked what you guys would want. So what would you want at this point, besides what I already mentioned? There is some potential with, I guess, some other movie characters like Tapion and PyCon they could bring in and all that. But what would you want? Comment down below, and yeah, we'll see what happens with this DLC or expansion. Excuse me, this expansion pack. We'll see what happens with it. We'll see if they talk about it any further in the coming months. I just thought they were just going to do free updates for the rest of the time until they were going to be done with the game. But apparently not. Apparently not. So, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Revan here. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.